The plant known as Silphium has fascinated many, being hailed as a miracle contraceptive, a wonder drug, an aphrodisiac, the origin of the heart symbol, and even a cure for hemorrhoids. Various platforms like TikTok, National Geographic, and even Facebook have shown an obsession with this ancient plant that once grew near Cyrene, Libya over 2,000 years ago. It has been widely touted as the most effective contraceptive in the ancient world, but its existence was tragically cut short by the promiscuous Romans, who inadvertently led to its extinction in the 1st century CE, making Silphium the first known victim of human-induced extinction. The intriguing story of Silphium raises questions about its authenticity and who was responsible for its demise. Moreover, what does this plant have to do with a beaver-based birth control? Let's delve into the facts. Around 637 BCE, a heavy rain showered the small area on Africa's Mediterranean coast, leading to the widespread growth of a wild shrub known as Silphium. About 7 years later, Greek settlers, fleeing a prolonged drought on the island of Thera, modern-day Santorini, discovered this area and the wild plant. The native Libyans taught them how to harvest the valuable Silphium, and the Greeks named it accordingly. This marked the founding of the city of Cyrene, and over the next 2 centuries, Silphium transformed it into a major trading power. Its importance was so great that its image adorned Cyrenian currency, a privilege usually reserved for kings' faces. Renowned scholars like Pliny the Elder spoke highly of Silphium, considering it among the most precious gifts of nature. By the time of Julius Caesar, vast quantities of Silphium were stored in the Roman state treasury alongside gold and silver. Silphium had various uses. It served as food, spice, and its flowers were used to extract perfume. Its most valuable part was the resin made from its sap, known as laser in Latin. Ancient beliefs attributed numerous medicinal properties to Silphium, including its use against fevers, coughs, warts, as a painkiller, a baldness cure, a hair remover, and even a miracle cure for hemorrhoids. The internet is rife with speculation about Silphium, with claims of it being the ancient world's best birth control and an aphrodisiac that drove Romans wild, while also being the origin of the love heart symbol. However, some of these assertions are rather tenuous. Regarding its aphrodisiac properties, some base the theory on specific coins and seeds dating to around 570 to 480 BCE. These coins feature a seated woman pointing towards a Silphium plant and a Silphium seed, leading to various interpretations. However, there is a lack of concrete evidence or ancient texts explicitly mentioning Silphium as an aphrodisiac. Claims connecting Silphium to the heart symbol are also uncertain. Although some seeds look similar to an upside-down heart, there is no direct artistic evidence from ancient times associating Silphium with romance. The first reliable image of a love heart emerged in the 14th century, long after Silphium's disappearance. On the topic of birth control, there are indications that Silphium might have been used for medicinal purposes as an abortifacient and an emmenagogue, both related to women's reproductive health. However, it is essential to consider that in ancient times, pregnancy was perilous, and any available birth control would have been regarded as crucial health care. Theophrastus, Cyrenus, Dioscorides, and Pliny are among the few sources that mention Silphium, but only Theophrastus had first-hand experience with the plant, and he did not specifically refer to its birth control properties. Dioscorides, a pharmacologist from the 1st century Greek era, asserted that Silphium, when consumed with pepper and myrrh, could induce menstruation. Cyrenus, an expert in gynecology from the 2nd century, might have been interested in exploring the plant's anti-hemorrhoid properties. He recommended several recipes containing Silphium to induce menstruation, claiming that they not only prevented conception but also terminated existing pregnancies. However, Cyrenus also warned about the dangers of these herbs, stating that they could harm and upset the abdomen. Upon studying ancient texts like Cyrenus' Gynecology and Dioscorides' De Materia Medica, a multitude of ancient birth control and menstruation aids were discovered. These included plants like artemisia, myrrh, cinnamon, testicle of beaver, although not recommended, rue, and especially pennyroyal. Some of these plants, excluding beaver testicles, have been found in modern studies to possess contraceptive and abortifacient properties. Nevertheless, caution is advised against seeking medical advice from ancient sources or YouTube videos. The book Contraception and Abortion from the Ancient World to the Renaissance by John Riddle serves as a key reference for Silphium's fame in the present day. Riddle claims that anecdotal and medical evidence from classical antiquity suggests Silphium as the preferred contraceptive choice. However, ancient authors do not explicitly describe Silphium as such. For instance, in a 421 BCE Greek comedy called Peace, Hermes jokingly advises Trygaiou to use pennyroyal to prevent pregnancy. Although Serenus mentions Silphium in contraceptive recipes, the effectiveness might be attributed to other ingredients like rue and myrrh. Silphium could have merely served as a flavoring agent to make the concoction more palatable. Pliny and Dioscorides also mention Silphium's benefits for various purposes, including relief from flatulence, pain, and menstruation. However, they specifically name other plant species useful for abortion, like sagopin. The scarcity and high value of Silphium made it impractical for widespread use. Many people opted for substitutes, with Ferula asafoetida being a common alternative. Modern studies have shown this substitute to be somewhat effective in preventing conception in rats, but not as accessible in ancient times. Information on ancient birth control methods is limited due to the predominance of male authors and medical works until the 12th century. The practitioners of female reproductive health care were women and midwives, who held the knowledge of gathering and using plants, determining appropriate dosages, and timing them with the menstrual cycle. Midwives in different historical eras used various herbs, such as pennyroyal with pomegranate pulp and willow leaf during the Islamic Golden Age, and stocked helpful herbs in Victorian London. Sadly, much oral knowledge was lost throughout history when countless midwives were persecuted as witches in Europe and when male doctors excluded women from medicine during the 19th century, breaking an ancient line of knowledge. We can only catch glimpses of this invaluable wisdom when male authors documented it. While Silphium may have played a role in ancient birth control methods, it is not definitively the best option. Many online articles claiming its superiority lack concrete evidence and primarily rely on a few references from Riddle's work and a possible love heart symbol on a coin. The real story lies in the candid discussions of birth control by ancient authors and the extensive medical knowledge held by women and midwives throughout history. Silphium, a mysterious plant renowned for its purported contraceptive properties, has intrigued scholars and historians for centuries. While it has been hailed as nature's greatest birth control due to its rarity and value, there is much more to its story than meets the eye. One aspect of Silphium's significance lies in its delectable flavor. Like pepper, aniseed, and cloves, Silphium was a prized spice in ancient times. The Mediterranean region, being a hub for trade, saw the importation of these valuable spices across the ocean, contributing to their high worth. The Romans even kept Silphium in their treasury, perhaps recognizing its worth as a flavorful commodity rather than solely a contraceptive or aphrodisiac currency. The Roman cookery book penned by Apicius mentions Silphium resin or laser an astonishing 96 times. It was an essential ingredient in various recipes, adding its distinctive taste to dishes like broths, sauces, stews, chicken, lamb, hare, boar, seafood, and even milk-fed snails. Its versatility and delightful essence made it a perfect spice for various delectable dishes, including roast flamingo and pork-stuffed mouse. The value of Silphium was also linked to its scarcity. As the demand for it grew, and its availability decreased, it became even more precious. Silphium's deliciousness and medicinal properties were qualities highly prized by the ancient world, contributing to its rarity and hence its value. However, when Silphium faced extinction, the Romans turned to asafoetida as a cheaper alternative. Although its resin might have shared some similarities in flavor, it was notorious for its unpleasant stench. In fact, the Latin name for asafoetida, fetid gum, speaks volumes about its odor. Despite its unappealing fragrance, asafoetida remains a popular ingredient in Central Asia and India under the name hing. Silphium's scarcity, however, cannot be attributed solely to its popularity as a contraceptive. A broader examination reveals several other factors contributing to its demise. Silphium's growth was limited to a narrow strip of land, and efforts to cultivate it elsewhere were unsuccessful. It was believed to have propagated asexually through its roots, limiting its spread to a confined area. Prior to Greek colonization, the indigenous Libyans practiced sustainable farming and nomadic herding, allowing their fields to rejuvenate during the summer while their sheep grazed. This practice was continued by the Greeks initially, but as the population in Cyrene expanded, intensive agriculture became necessary to meet the demand for wheat. Unfortunately, this change in farming practices led to deforestation, soil erosion, and unreliable rainfall, impacting Silphium's habitat. Furthermore, economic pressures from Roman landlords forced farmers to cultivate more land, further contributing to environmental distress. The extinction of Silphium cannot be solely blamed on the actions of farmers or their sheep. Rather, it was a culmination of various interconnected factors, including unsustainable agricultural practices, deforestation, and the pursuit of short-term profit. Silphium's disappearance marked the loss of a precious resource for Cyrene. Its sustainable harvest had contributed to the region's prosperity for centuries. The efforts to save Silphium, such as fencing off its fields, proved insufficient in the face of larger systemic issues. Despite Silphium's apparent extinction, some researchers have discovered potential candidates like Ferella drudiana. Professor Mehmet Miski from Istanbul University found this plant in central Turkey and identified its similarity to Silphium. Chemical analyses of the root indicated cancer-fighting, contraceptive, and anti-inflammatory properties, raising hopes that it might be a long-lost descendant of Silphium. The story of Silphium serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of sustainable practices and understanding the broader ecological impact of human actions. While it may not have been solely responsible for Silphium's extinction, Roman greed and the pursuit of profit undoubtedly played a role in the loss of this valuable plant. In conclusion, Silphium's worth went beyond its contraceptive reputation. Its delectable flavor and medicinal properties contributed to its high value in the ancient world. The factors leading to its extinction were complex, involving unsustainable agricultural practices, deforestation, and short-term profit motives. While Silphium may be gone, its legacy endures as a reminder of the importance of ecological awareness and sustainable practices.